All right, guys, what is up? So crypto, GameStop, web design. Why am I making this video? Look, if you follow the channel, you know I don't do clickbait stuff. And if I make a video, it's like practical, straightforward business advice and sales and web design. But I had to make this video because I think there's a really good lesson here right now about this situation. And I think it's something like almost like a warning sign that you have to pay attention to, realize what's going on, and then if needed, adjust your life and your business plans to make sure that you're still going in the right direction. So big lesson. Let me get into it. First, I want to set the context. I'm sure you know already somewhat or in a lot of detail, depending on how much you've read up on this, what's going on. The GameStop situation, to give the quick version, I'm not a like a day trader or any stuff, so I'm going to keep it pretty simple here. A bunch of smaller individual people found out that if they connected together and worked together, that they could work within this one stock, this GameStop stock. And if they all went in it together, they could kind of beat Wall Street at their own game and make a ton of money. They were doing this and doing this successfully. Wall Street got super pissed off at what they were doing and basically changed the rules, most likely illegally, to at least try and get their money back. I don't know if they're going to be successful or not, and kind of screw over all these little people in an illegal way, basically. They changed the rules of the game. You know, as these little guys were doing exactly what Wall Street have done for years, they were using their own kind of tactics back at them, and they were doing it successfully. Wall Street stepped in and just took all the money back, or is trying to take all the money back. So what this has to do with web design, with crypto, let me tie it in even more. If we look at the last couple of weeks and couple of months, and I would say the last year and leading up to the last year, there's definitely a trend here. There's like these individual events that we're seeing popping up more and more, definitely more and more frequently in the last while. And if you connect the dots, you start to see that just a lot of people are losing faith in these old systems and institutions and ways of doing things that, you know, previous generations and even our own generation used to have a lot of faith in. Things like the government, in currencies, in the stock exchange, and just kind of like the rules of law, these different things. And over the last year, and I would say leading up to the last year as well, kind of like over the last 10 years from my own personal perspective, but within the last year and then within the last couple of months and definitely the last couple of weeks, it's starting to ramp up a lot. People are checking out of the old way of doing things, the old system. And a lot of people are just feeling like the old system or the current system is screwing them over, that even when they're doing well, they change the rules, they take back the gains, and you're just always back in that kind of situation where you feel, you know, you're being held down, that it's all working against you and that there's no way around it. And this is kind of like the whole feeling with this GameStop situation. All these little guys finally got like a big win, and they stepped in, they changed the rules, and they tried to take that win back off them unfairly and, you know, basically take the money back. So what I want to add this together with, and kind of, you know, why I've made this video in the first place, my own background with why I started web design and why I have this channel and why I teach what it is that I teach is very much connected to this. So it's not got to do with GameStop, but it's got to do with like this system that's there that you want to break out of, and you want to live a good life. You want to have certain things for yourself. You want to live in a certain way. You want to enjoy freedom. You want to enjoy, you know, nice things, get to travel, these sort of things. So to wind back the clock a little, I, you know, didn't start web design back 10 years ago, but what I was doing was I was in university. So I'm from Ireland, and in Ireland, when I went to university, I studied construction engineering. So I looked at all the different degrees, and I decided at that time there's a really good construction industry within Ireland, and it was doing very well. So I was like, okay, I'll do a 4-year degree. I'll get a job in this. I'm not, you know, too enthusiastic about it, but if I do the degree and I put in the work, I should get a well-paying job. I can look after myself and I can be a responsible person who's able to provide for himself. So I did my 4 years. I did not find it easy to study and get good grades. I, you know, enjoyed other aspects of university, but I finished my degree, put in my work, did all my study, all this sort of stuff. And just as I was graduating, there was a massive recession in Ireland. It was just kind of within Ireland. It had to do with a lot of people over-investing in property, but this huge crash, property market just absolutely tanked, and with it, the whole country tanked. And there was like overnight no jobs, especially in construction, and the whole country was just like in a bad situation. So at that time, obviously felt quite annoyed. I'd studied for 4 years. I get out of university, there's no jobs, there's no opportunity, there's nothing going on. So what I did was I looked around, and it took me like a year or two just to get the amount of a plane ticket. So hard to save at that time. It took me a year or two just to save the price of a plane ticket to get out of Ireland. But I was looking around at other opportunities, and I seen in Canada that the oil industry was starting to take off. So I got a flight to Canada, flew to Canada, and literally started from scratch. I wouldn't say homeless, but I was not there with a lot of savings. I had to do anything and everything to just get enough money to keep going until I got like a good job in the oil industry. It took about half a year. I did landscaping. I worked in an Irish bar, snow removal, all these different jobs, like super intense labor jobs. But I eventually got in the oil industry, got a good job, and started getting trained up as like a petroleum engineer, and had a good job for about a year. And then the oil industry crashed as well. Completely separate thing. Obviously, nothing got to do with the Irish property thing. But once again, I was just left in this place where I had, tried to play the system's rules, done my best, had given it everything, my time, my sweat, my energy, my sanity. I'd like invested it all, had made some progress, and then it just crashed. Like I got, let go out of my job overnight, pretty much back in the exact same situation as I was when I finished university. And it just felt pretty rough. I did not feel good about it. And at that time, I was just thinking, something's up here, something's wrong. And there's a disconnect here. People are telling me that like these jobs are secure, that this way of having a degree and this way of thinking and getting in with these companies was secure, that this is how you should set up your life. But within a very short amount of time, I've been burnt twice, very, very badly, have been left with next to nothing after putting in all this time and effort that I couldn't get back out of it. And I was just kind of like sick of the whole thing at that stage. So what happened, to, condense this story down, I went traveling. I went to Colombia for a couple of months. Absolutely loved it down there. And one of the things, I just wanted to stay down there, but I was running out of money. One of the things was I started to meet online entrepreneurs. So when I worked in, the oil industry in Canada, I didn't meet these sort of people. You're only going to meet usually the people that are in your industry. So in Ireland, I was just hanging out with students. In Canada, I was just hanging out with oil people. But when I started to travel, I met these guys, basically like the version of who I am now. I met those sort of guys down in Colombia. They're like making money online, living life the way they wanted to. And I just couldn't believe it. I was totally blown away. I thought this stuff was like only stuff that you hear about in a movie or, some sort of something online that isn't really accessible for the normal person. But when I talked to these guys and they started to explain how they did it, and they were in all sorts of different setups. Like it wasn't just, they're all web designers. In fact, I only met a few web designers. There's people in lots of different stuff. When they all started explaining like how they got into it and how they were able to succeed and to keep succeeding, I started to see common trends. Like, okay, these people are doing the same stuff kind of over and over again in different ways, but like the same underlying principles. And the big thing that I noticed, and this is where, why I made this video, is all these people had good skills and they had certain sorts of skills. So they're all in different industries, but they all had like these same common skills that they were using in these different industries to succeed. And this is kind of why I have the content that I do on this channel. I noticed these people had a lot of good sales skills, a lot of good people skills, communication skills, good at copywriting, good at marketing, those sort of things. And whatever they went into with those skills, they were able to succeed. And at the time, I wasn't even thinking about web design. I was just thinking about how do I get an online business, any online business that allows me to just stay traveling, to live like these guys, that quality of life, that freedom of life. How do I get it going? So I was like talking to all these guys, like figuring out what they're doing, figuring out how they had done it, how I could do it. And what I was noticing was these skills, sales skills, communication skills, copywriting, maybe for some of them like SEO, but like marketing, like these general persuasion, these general overall skills that if you jumped into any sort of niche, you're going to have a really good chance of succeeding. So, back to the original thing here, GameStop, crypto, how does this tie together? I think right now, if you're not in this situation where you already have a successful business, you got to be looking at these events and seeing the trend where things are going to go. So when it happened for me quite a few years ago, it was like a micro local event. It's the construction industry, but only within Ireland, or it was the oil industry only within Canada. I think right now it's like a global thing. It's building up to this global, I don't want to say collapse, that sounds very dramatic, but things are going to change and things are probably not going to be as good as they were the last few years. And I think if you want to safeguard yourself and be in the best situation and be able to do as good as you can over the next few years, you're going to need these same skills that all successful people have, who are doing well in any sort of industry. And okay, each person's going to have their own specific skills. I'm in the web design, niche, so I have web design skills. But no matter what niche you're in, you got to have these overall skills. You got to be able to sell. You got to be able to market. You got to have a business that you fully control, so you're not relying on other people's systems or platforms or rules as much as you can. It's hard to avoid that 100%, but as much as you can, you have your own business that you decide, when you work, how you work, what prices you charge, how you sell to your customers, those sort of things. Along with those skills then, just persuasion, good writing skills, good presentation skills, good marketing skills, all the skills that allow you to take any sort of kind of thing and make it very sellable and very successful in whatever niche it is. Now, for me, I picked web design, and I met lots of people who are succeeding in other niches. I'm not saying you have to pick web design, although if you're following this channel, you probably have some interest. But for me, web design was a really good option. I didn't need to invest anything up front. I already had a laptop. I could go direct to customers and sell them. My cost of production was like next to nothing. It's a bunch of code. I was using templates that you can buy for like $10 online, and you can sell it for a couple of $1,000s. There is drawbacks to a web design business. It takes a bit of time to get it going. When it is getting going, and even as you're very profitable, you still got to do obviously some work. It's not fully automated. But the advantages for me just made sense at the time. I could get going straight away. I could sell to people I already know, and I could start building these skills. That was the most important thing for me. If I could build these skills and just learn how it works online, learn how to get a business going, how to make some money, even if it was just a little bit in the beginning, it was getting me time. It was getting me time and experience and insight into how to do it better and better. And then as time went on, I made more and more progress, and it just scaled from there. So I know this is kind of a video that's like jumping all around the place, but I just think it's a good moment. If you're kind of wondering what to do over the next few years, how to set things up, how to like plan ahead, and what to kind of like build a foundation of your life upon, I would say step away from the traditional stuff that people used to build their life upon, degrees, qualifications, certain institutions, certain systems that are just not now doing so well. Like they're starting to fade, they're starting to crumble, they're starting to break apart. And instead, look at the individual things that you can bank on that are just going to be good for you forever, basically. If you know how to sell really well, if you know how to persuade really well, how to communicate really well, how to solve problems really well, how to find big needs in the marketplace that you can create something to, solve that problem, to add value, to do it in a better way or a cheaper way or just a more, luxurious way or an easier way, whatever it is, stepping into the marketplace and just doing something better that people need, that people want, that they're happy to part with their money in exchange for whatever it is that you've, now provided. That's what you can build a foundation upon. So I really think that's the philosophy behind this channel. I've never really explained it before, but I think this is a good moment to do it. You got to be able to have these skills if you want to stay solid the next few years, as things are changing so much and so dramatically. And I think we're going to see a lot more of it from like literally month to month. There's like this new crazy thing, and then there's this thing and these new rules and these new restrictions. If you want to keep doing well and just look after yourself and be in a good situation, able to keep moving forwards, keep making progress, build your foundation upon yourself, and do that by focusing on these skills, the core business skills that every person who succeeds in business and, who gets the wealth that they want, whatever level it is, and it can build a life of freedom or whatever around that. I know it sounds a little bit cheesy, but that is the truth. If you can get these skills, you're going to be able to succeed in whatever area. You can use web design if you want, but there's other ways to do it. But as long as you get these skills, you're in a really, really good situation. So hopefully this video isn't like all over the place and there's value there for you. Let me know in the comments below and I'll get back to everyone. But yeah, that's my take. Like I look at this situation, GameStop, these other stocks, the crypto thing, the lockdown over the last year, what's going on. And I just see that more and more it's crumbling faster and faster. And to be in the safe place, to be secure, to know you're going to be solid and know that like the future ahead of you is going to be better and better, you just got to have that solid foundation, something that you can bank on, that you know is going to work. And to me, that is these skills. I know the marketplace is always going to want something. Maybe what they want changes over time, as it always does. But I know that I'll be there and I'll be the person who's able to sell it, who's able to build it, who's able to fulfill those needs and build a solid business around it, and then build a solid life around that business. So that's it for this video. Really hope that it helps. different to my usual content, but let me know your thoughts down below, what you think, what your own take on the situation is. And that's it for this video. I'll catch you in the future videos. Thanks for watching.